I think that a chef knife is one of the most important things for you as a chef. Like have the right size and not too big, not too small, but still strong. And it's your most important tool. It has to be a quality that can hold a long time. David is the blacksmith of Firehorse Forge. I just love this guy. You come into his shop and it's like knives and pieces of iron all over, and he makes all his tools himself, and that's like 500 different hammers and 200 tongs, and he makes these incredible Damascus Steel chef's knives. What are you doing?
Chopping up the billet.
Chopping up the billet?
Yeah, I'll do a quick etch on it. You can see there's some patterning in there. It's a feather Damascus billet.
Huh, cool. How did you end up doing all this?
It all began because of the first Conan the Barbarian.
Oh, okay,
right?
yeah.
So there's that.
So a real sword, like 2 meter high. So.
Right. Well, you know, and so I was like 14 or whatever when that came out, you know, and that opening scene. His dad's forging this sword. First he pours the metal, right? So this liquid metal, and then he forges. It's total bullshit, but it looks cool.
Yeah.
And my 14-year-old mind is going, oh my God, this is crazy, you know? Nobody in my family at all worked with their hands. So I had no idea. I just knew that I wanted to do it. There are a lot of questions people ask when it comes to Damascus steel. The Japanese, of course, have lots of fame for doing these steps and folding steel. At the same time, the Vikings knew that this was a thing. This is sort of a version of a Viking sax. And so so what this would have been, these twist patterns would have been wrought iron, right? And then your steel would have been the cutting edge. When I start, I have, this will be my cutting edge.
Uh-huh.
And the reason I start it down like this, it'll be elongated, but imagine as you forge the edge, that metal gets squished.
Flatter and flatter.
And this metal has to go somewhere, so it starts to go up,
yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And if you started with it the other way, you'd have this big banana-shaped blade.
Yeah. So how hot is that oven?
This forge is currently, that's probably about 2,300 degrees in there. All right, so I'm gonna just quickly knock this thing apart. A little tougher than I expected.
That's a lot of force. That's a lot of force.
30 tons.
30 tons? And how much do you think you can pressure with the hammer?
With my hammer, about 60 tons.
Yeah, of course.
So I'm gonna go ahead and take this heat, and I'm gonna go right here.
David takes the billet and folded different layers of metal into one piece. It's very important during the forging process to keep the steel very hot and work it slowly. One mistake can separate the steel.
So I've just made that a little more parallel, and I've offset it. You can see the pattern inside there.
Oh yeah, it goes like this.
So now I need to bring this up. And so now what I'll do is I'll go ahead and start forging out a rough little point on it, which will become the point of the knife.
David is isolating the billet into different areas to create the blade, the bolster, and the tang. This stage is very important, and it will determine the size and the style of the knife. So what you actually are doing is actually this, bending it down, because you will force it all the way up so it will flatten out and get like straight.
Yep,
anyway.
Exactly, yeah.
So it's actually roughly bending it the opposite way to get the other curve, so it doesn't curve up like that.
Exactly.
You don't want a knife that's cutting like that.
No. There's a very well-known chef from Eugene. He has Akira Sushi. There's a woman who works for him, and her boyfriend is also a chef and wanted to buy a custom chef's knife. He was a little like, oh my God, am I doing the right thing? You could tell he was, you know, he wanted to buy a custom knife, and it was a big deal for him, and he had to save his money to come up with the funds to buy this thing. To see somebody making that sacrifice to buy one of my knives, it just holds more value for me. There we go. All right. Starting to get a little closer to what I'm going for there. All right, now I can work on the front, and I'm going to go ahead and refine it. There's a lot of grinding to do here.
He finished the grinding and sanding. He brings the knife very close to its final shape. Then after hardening and tempering, attaches the handle and etches the blade in ferric chloride to bring out the contrast between the different steels. David takes the steel and begins the sharpening process. He uses the Japanese waterstones. It's a fine, natural sandstone. So what grain is this stone here?
This one's 1,000.
So you start at 1,000?
I start at 400 is where, so I break it down. When I'm grinding, I get it pretty close to being at 0. And then after hand sanding and etching, I start with my 400 and break in the initial edge. I just take it up to 6,000. And there are a lot of different techniques for doing this, and I'm trying to just get one that works for me.
If you're sharpening like too much on a spot, you will curve the stone.
That's right.
In the middle.
Yeah.
So you want to have long,
you really want to come through.
Then moving it.
Excuse me. Cheers. That crux makes a very good Pilsner, I have to say.
He's taking off the edge.
I just wanted a beer.
It goes really good together, that steel and wood. Really good fixed.
Oh man, I really love the combination of these two.
So what was the wood?
It's desert ironwood.
Desert ironwood?
Desert ironwood.
So that's a tree called desert iron?
Yeah, desert ironwood, yeah. It's really, really hard, and it's a natural wood. You can't stabilize it, so it's a natural wood. I don't know if this is, yeah, there you go.
Oh, that's pretty sharp.
Pay toll by mail. That one can get a slice.
Pay toll by mail.
So see right there, I knew there's still a burr, so that right there,
yeah.
Sometimes I drag it just to feel where the burrs are.
It's also a hot spot up there.
It's also where the little serrations are from the nickel.
David takes the polished blade and now begins to apply the camellia oil to protect the steel from oxidizing. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. So beautiful.
Thank you. How do you like
I didn't see it coming out like this. The first time I saw the steel. Yeah. And so many hours of work.
Oh, so many hours. Lots and lots of hours.
But this guy that's buying this knife is like a lucky guy.
He's a good guy, yeah.
The whole pattern, even the wood coming together with the grain,
yeah.
It's coming in, like going together with the metal.
Yeah.
Really nice. David's doing something special here. He's taking a 2,000-year-old process from the Middle East, Japan, and Northern Europe, and he's bringing it in to the modern times. He's creating something for people to explore the history of culture, of food, of what it means to be human. Steel, pressure, fire. He's creating much more than just a tool. He's creating art. It's elemental.